So they asked us, are we okay? No,
Not okay.
we're not okay.
Not even a little bit.
Hands up for your colors.
Welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be talking about the COVID virus. As a registered nurse on the floor, come along and see what I experienced.
Ready to work, I'm early. And as I walked in, the girl was like, let me check your temperature. I still have my big bag, by the way. So they ain't checked my bag. But she was like, let me check your temperature. I was 96.7. I guess I cleared. So they asked us, are we okay? No,
Not okay.
we're not okay.
Not even a little bit.
So here you can see these apparatuses. They're on the outside of the rooms. These rooms used to be regular rooms. However, they now have the ability to convert to negative pressure rooms. This cord, you can see it leads up into the roof. I don't know where it ends. I cannot fully show you inside of this patient's room. However, if you can see, the hole in the wall is what's located to help ventilate the air to the outside, like a normal regular airborne precaution room would be set up. The machines are all set to negative pressure. EVS has to come to the floor, which is a protocol, and set the rooms up for us while we get report. Until then, the patients cannot come to the floor until the rooms are prepped and ready. We have signs on the outside. We also have carts on the outside that have all of the supplies that we should need. Sometimes we're running out of a lot of them. You see EVS, we are EVS as well. PCAs or other auxiliary staff are not allowed into the patient's rooms. We have these containers on the outside to dispose of gown, linen, and soiled things, as well as on the inside in purple gowns. So here I want to show you, these are some of the protective equipments that the nurses should be wearing that we are currently lacking. Hello all. I just want to say thank you, and I'm so grateful for all of my family members, friends, colleagues that have reached out to say they appreciate me, they love me, and thank you. And when I came home this morning, I kid you not, inside I was personally angry. I was frustrated. I thought over and over to myself, like, this is crazy. It's really crazy what we're actually about to partake in or see happen right before our eyes. And knowing that the healthcare system praises healthcare workers like to the max, but in this pandemic, they are hesitant to give us N95 masks that helps with airborne. It was frustrating for a supervisor to come up to us and tell us we don't need the N95 mask. For us to tell her it was told that this thing is airborne, or we actually don't know if it's airborne. And for her to say, well, per CDC, you know what? F the CDC. Because right now you playing with my family, you playing with my life, and you playing with me as a coworker and as a supervisor. And I'm pretty sure it's not just my facility. And one of my colleagues was going at it with her. I said, listen here. I said to her, because she was Jamaican, I said, Lord Barbara, I make she go on. I said, when she left, we are going to get filled with masks. So we got our mask. I pulled my mask and she pulled her mask. And the ratio supposedly, before I went to work, because last week I went to work and then this week I pushed and pushed and pushed till I was like, you know what? F it, I'm just going to go and see what is going on. So when I got there, they took my temperature as I walked in. I was 96.7. I got to the nursing office and I, got my assignment, went on the floor. When I got there, lo and behold, I was the corona team. So every unit was equipped they basically just handed me a 2-sheet of paper, and before my shift, I'm supposed to read this. So I was frustrated. I started yapping my mouth. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Someone hasn't been here. You guys don't know. And I'm helping out the floor, not saying that. Everybody can be exposed. So the rules were, we have to take off all of our jewelry. We have to change into these paper, like thin green scrubs that you saw me share in the night or last night with you guys. And the ratio supposedly was 1-to-1.
before, but when I got on shift, it was 2-1. And then all of a sudden throughout the night, we were getting admissions, and I heard now it's going to be going up to 4-1. You cannot imagine the amount of work that you have to do with just those rule out patients. I don't give a damn if you're ruling out or not. I don't care. One of my patients coughed, and he coughed all night. And I consistently educated him, please, I bought 2 boxes of tissues. But then at the other side, I had to look at my nursing mode on and say, he's human. And when I looked at this guy with retractions, struggling to breathe in the bed, you know, despite he was satin much better, but when he took off his cannula, if I came in the room and I found him, mind you, you have to bundle all of your care. What that means is if you're going in that room, you're trying to go in that room only as needed. But at the same time, I can't see him through that closed door, you know, and he's spiking up a fever. Those of you know, a fever. I don't want this guy to have a seizure on me. So I'm calling a doctor. They're not putting in proper orders. He's at home. So every time I call him, and I felt no reason not to call him. You admit a patient, you know he came in febrile, he's coughing, why didn't you put your proper orders? So I called him, and every time I went in that room, I kid you not, I had to gown up, had to think about what was I touching, took off my gloves more than 10 times so that I was able to go back into that room, think through my steps, what am I touching, what am I putting on, how am I donning, how am I taking everything off. It was more mind-wrecking knowing that I was going to the room. Then when I got into the room and trying not to expose myself, knowing that I'm not even covered from my neck down. Like, I know we had these scrubs and they're disposable. At the end of the day, how long are they going to be disposable, guys? Open up your eyes. How long are they going to be disposable? The mask they're telling us not to wear. We had a mask for each patient. We had a brown paper bag. As you walked out, you took off that mask and you put in that brown paper bag. And then when we got there, they gave us clear goggles. And the nursing supervisors, the charge nurse for that unit, also the assistant nurse manager goes, well, they gave me this amount and you have to sign for it. I said, I have to sign for it? Yes, because when the hospital goes out, you're basically going to have to use that for your whole time because we don't know if we're ever going to get supply, blah, blah, blah. And so you can wipe and reuse. So in between patients, you're wiping your goggles, you're taking off your mask, putting them in plastic bags, labeling the bags, and then you're taking care of your patients. Okay? Hand washing, gowns, shoe covers. It was so much work. At my facility, the PCAs, which are the patient care assistants, or CNAs, certified nursing assistants, whatever they call them at your hospital, or PCTs, patient care techs, are not allowed in the rooms. So the nurse now becomes, you have a mop, kind of like a Swiffer sweeper, you have Clorox, you have everything, you have your linen bags, everything. You are the sole provider for that patient on your shift. Anything happens, you're taking your vitals, you're doing basic care for this patient. So they said the PCAs are not allowed in. I was very upset. I'm like, are they not healthcare providers as well? So while your PCA is sitting there gallivanting around the unit, because many of us have these patients, they're only allowed into the rooms that don't have it. I don't understand. So the nurses are getting exposed, but they're supposed to be helping us. This is supposed to be teamwork. So I said, if you're giving me a total care patient who has this, or we're ruling out, where someone normally takes care of them, it takes 2 or 3 people to roll this patient over. You expect me to break my back as one person going in that room? I said, no, how's this going to work? Oh, they want all of the nurses who have these patients to teamwork. Yes, teamwork, but we're all frustrated. We're all tired. We haven't peed. We haven't been able to drink any water, going in and out, masking up. Our ears hurt, continuously hand washing, being meticulous. It was a lot. I kid you not, serious. Like, literally, I just look at it like God is on my side. I walk in and I just try to think about it and say, God is on my side. He has better things for me. But at the end of the day, it is scary. It builds a lot of anxiety. It is scary because we are at the front line, guys. It's very scary. And you know, you're coming home, you don't know whether you're symptomatic, asymptomatic, you're thinking, do I have it? You're looking for your sore throat, you're wondering, am I walking around exposing my family, friends? Like, so please stay home. Save the shit and just stay home. Like, stay home in quarantine so we can get over this. Like, it's about to get crazy. Y'all, I kid you not.
I had another patient which was on the other side of the hallway, and I had to get a sitter case because my patient is ruling out. He's homeless and he's immunocompromised and he's coming out of the room. And when I tell you this guy is huge, I literally told them, look, I'm going into this room. And if I don't come out or if I push the call light, please answer me, because please don't ignore me. This could have been anybody. This could have been your family member. Like, don't do that. Believe it or not, you are alone. Nobody wants to come in that room with you. So I understand from my peers, nobody wants to come. It's like they're exposed or they're like, nobody wants to come in there. So you could be dying for help. So fucked up. You weren't asked to be put into this position. Just like that nurse who reported, she wasn't asked to be put in that position. We risk our lives, and because of compassionate care, like for you feel like it's right. Despite it being a lot, nurses, what I can say is it is rewarding. At the end of the day, when I look at me, I'm fortunate to be able to go out there and do this, but at the same time, we all nurses, providers, practitioners are putting ourselves at risk. And then when we're walking out of our hospital, they have us stop, they search our bags, and then during the shift, what I found was much more teary-eyed to me was the alienation part. So I'm literally inside of a room. If I forget something, I have to call. If I call, they answer the call light. They can't hear me. The mask muffles my speech, or they just don't come because nobody wants to come in that room with me. And I was frustrated because the nurse who gave us report prior to, she had that 2-to-1 ratio, and she had a horrible day. And the supervisors were on the floor, other nurse managers, research people, and they spoke about it. Somebody has to care for that patient that's in that bed, and they're human too. They are human too. They didn't ask to get this condition. So if you take anything from it, it's just real life. Making sure this is something that you want to do, the healthcare, because that's the same thing for first responders, police officers, firefighters. Everybody's in this together. Age doesn't discriminate. Had one coming in the morning just to rule out 31, so it's real. It is real out there, and whether the world did it or not, we're here, man. We're here.